This video is brought to you by Prestige Labs Supplements. There's a link in the description below that you can click on to get 30 to 50% off of all of their products for a limited time. Hey, this is Colin with Connect the Watts, and in this video, I want to share with you my top 10 Peloton alternatives for 2021. The connected fitness space, as many of us know, is continuing to grow at a rapid rate. Some people may have thought that the connected fitness movement was only here to stay during the pandemic, but numbers are proving otherwise, and growth is continuing to happen even as things are opening up. And so companies from all over are going all in to push in on the connected fitness space to try to become competitive as an alternative to Peloton. So today I want to share with you my top 10 alternatives to Peloton this year. And these aren't necessarily ordered by my favorite devices, but it's more about what I think about their entire ecosystem, how popular they are, how likely it is for them to continue to expand and offer more, as well as how much impact I believe they will ultimately have on the connected fitness space this year. Because these companies are growing in very different ways with very different offerings, and they will have a competitive impact on each other. And this is an absolutely positive thing for us consumers to have more competitors, because ultimately they're going to have to fight against each other to be able to provide more at a cheaper cost. And so we as consumers will always win when there is good competition. Another thing that has a positive impact on us all is if you go ahead and slam that like button. I really appreciate it. It helps this video expand out into the YouTube algorithm to find the people who actually want to listen to this information. And as a thank you for your entertainment, here is a short clip of a girl doing something she probably shouldn't on an exercise bike. Number 10 is FightCamp, where they provide connected fitness classes and equipment geared towards boxing and kickboxing classes, which is probably the most complete at-home program for that type of training. I put FightCamp at number 10 because although I think it is a good product and a good company, I think the audience is a little bit too niche when compared to cardio and strength, and so I don't feel like it's going to have the impact as some of these other companies. Number 9 is Echelon. And as Echelon states in their own marketing, they are the cheaper version of Peloton. Now, what's great about Echelon is that they provide a variety of devices from bikes to rowers to treadmills, and they offer their products at pretty good prices. And what's key for them is they're able to distribute these very well. You can find them in a lot of local shops like Costco. And so I think they definitely have a good spot here in the connected fitness space, as many people just can't afford, Peloton level prices to be able to get something to do at home. However, I think by labeling themselves as the cheaper version of Peloton is ultimately going to bite them in the butt, because ultimately these companies are going to grow and scale, and over time they're going to be able to drive their product price lower and lower. So eventually Echelon might not have that big price advantage that they currently have now. Instead of being the cheaper version of Peloton, they just might be a less good version of it. Number 8 is Ergatta. Ergatta makes this rower, and what I love about Ergatta is it's very, very distinct compared to anybody else in the space. Like when you see the rower, you know it looks very distinct. But on top of that, all of these other companies, they're all fighting to do essentially the same thing, to be able to provide a class experience at home. But Ergatta isn't. They're saying there is a good portion of the market. There are a lot of people out there who don't want to take classes at home. They just want to have fun at home while they work out. And so they are going all in on that. And instead of providing new classes every day, they are providing new types of games and gamification to keep you engaged and sort of addicted to improving. And because this is a unique position in the market, they could take this outside of rowing, and I think they would do really well. So I think Ergatta has a really good spot in the connected fitness space. Number 7 is Hydrow. Hydrow is not only probably the best rower on the market, they also provide what is probably the best rowing classes out there. All of their stuff is done really, really well. And with possible plans to go public relatively soon, they could really expand their reach more and more. The only reason I have Hydrow this far down on the list is because of their name and the limitations that brings with it. Because if they just stick to rowing, I'm not sure that is a long-term functional ecosystem. I think ultimately companies that can provide a variety of equipment and be able to provide a variety of experiences are ultimately going to have the biggest impact. And while rowing is great, trust me, I love rowing. I row all of the time. I do question its long-term popularity as an at-home exercise product. Number 6 on the list is FORME. Now, FORME is the relative newcomer to this space, and they are jumping in with 2 products. One is essentially their version of the Mirror, and the other is their version of Tonal. Now, based on what I've seen, these are aimed at being premium, very, very high quality devices, and they are making a lot of headway and partnerships to be able to get visibility and be able to let people try it, see it, and want it. Recently, they partnered with Barry's Bootcamp, where Barry's Bootcamp is going to be selling these devices out of their stores, as well as providing Barry's classes on the devices themselves. So I would definitely be on the lookout for FORME as one of the most impactful newcomers to the space this year. Number 5 is Tempo. Now, Tempo is very smart in a lot of ways. See, you look at the Mirror, and you might think, how could I improve on that? Well, what Tempo did was say, hey, we want to be able to do strength with our workouts. Let's provide everything our members will need to be able to do that effectively. And then also, let's put it in a device that is movable so people can move it from room to room pretty easily. And then third, let's put some really cool tech in there that can help assess people's form and give them feedback while they work out. So Tempo is a very incredible product when compared to some others on the market. And I think ultimately a lot of companies are going to be taking a look at what Tempo is doing, and they're going to be trying to copy it. Number 4 is Tonal. Now, Tonal is a device that's kind of like the Mirror on your wall, but a little thicker because inside of it is a full strength gym. Now, you might think I'm exaggerating here, but as somebody who's been a focused strength conditioning coach for the past 12 years, and I am friends with many well-known and popular strength coaches all over the world, I have heard nothing but incredible things that everybody has to say about the capabilities of Tonal. Honestly, the price is the number one thing holding it back right now, because otherwise it might be the first thing on this list, because you can do so much so well, and it's not a gimmick. You can do legitimate strength training with the Tonal device, and it takes up so little space in your house, and it provides you such important information for legitimate strength training, like time under tension and how many reps and sets and rest, and tracks it all in a unique way. While Peloton likes to always say, we're gonna win in strength, they never show anything to support that claim. But Tonal, on the other hand, this product could definitely ultimately be the winner in strength. And so I think it is going to have the biggest impact on strength development at home over any other product. Number 3 is BODi. Haven't heard of BODi? That's because it's the new name from Beachbody, who recently went public like this last week with a merger with MyX. Now, MyX makes some fitness exercise equipment like bikes, and they're not a huge company or anything like that. But if you don't know what Beachbody is, you've probably heard of a lot of their products like P90X. Now, why the hell do I think BODi, which actually hasn't been released as a complete platform yet, why do I think they're number 3 on this list when compared to all of the others? Well, it's because of their history, their background, and what they are capable of. Because as somebody who has done a lot of studying on sales and marketing and business, when you look at the fitness space, nobody out there, no one does it better than Beachbody. Their ability to market and acquire customers is second to none. And I think they're going to have a profound impact on the connected fitness space, because this company, they are not afraid to take a loss up front, meaning they will gladly sell products and all kinds of stuff for a lot cheaper than competitors up front, because they have a huge back end. This company sells supplements, nutrition programs, all kinds of stuff. And because a lot of the money that they get is on the back end, they are going to be a big contender on the front end by lowering prices when compared to some of the other bigger players like Peloton. And ultimately, I think that is going to be a big price pressure on some of these other companies who are still charging a tremendous amount for their products and services. So whether you like Beachbody or not, because look, I know they're an MLM, and I know many people, including me, don't really like things like MLMs, you cannot deny that they could have a potentially huge impact on lowering prices for all of us. Number 2 is the Mirror. The Mirror is probably the simplest, least fancy product on this list, but it's also one of the most well-known and most talked about. It was purchased by Lululemon, and Lululemon is one of the smartest lifestyle brands out there. And being a lifestyle brand is hugely important to the connected fitness space. People want to talk about it and show off what they're doing and wear the clothes and just be part of this whole little world. And Lululemon already has a giant fanatical fan base. So selling them the mirror that they can continue to be part of that ecosystem at home with workouts, this is such a huge advantage. And the mirror is already a household name, and it's just going to become more and more popular as more people get them. And what Lululemon will be able to provide through those mirrors will be able to continue to improve and expand as well. I'm putting the mirror at number 2 here. I think they have a ton of potential, and I think they are just going to become more and more impactful as their stores continue to open up and get new customers from here. Finally, the number 1 alternative to Peloton in 2021 is iFIT. iFIT has one of the largest and growing high quality workout programs out there. You could look at Peloton and iFIT programs, and you could say they are very competitive with each other. And iFIT is a huge company. They were the largest fitness manufacturer in the world last year. They are huge, and they make a tremendous amount of devices, and they are going more and more in on connecting them all and building their iFIT brand. Now, where iFIT struggles a little bit behind Peloton and Lululemon is on branding, community, some UI issues, music. So they have some issues for sure, but I think they are actively working on them. And if they continue to improve on all of this, it's not going to take too much to tip them over to eventually get on equal footing with Peloton. Look, in a lot of tech spaces, there eventually become 2 giants and a bunch of smaller competition, right? In the computer space, you have Microsoft and Apple. In the video game space, you have Xbox and PlayStation. And in the connected fitness space, I ultimately think you're going to have Peloton and iFIT. But those are my thoughts on the top 10 alternatives to Peloton in 2021. Let me know what you think about this list. Would you have arranged it differently? Do you think one deserves to be higher or one deserves to be lower? Or did I miss a company that you think deserves to be in this top 10 list as well? Let me know in comments. Make sure to subscribe to Connect to Watts for all of the latest connected fitness news, reviews, tips, and guides. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.